The Race of the Gods, the fifth episode of Chief of War, appears to be the point at which the show really moves from political scheming into the realm of actual combat. This story will have significant spiritual and political implications since it is about more than just chiefly conflicts. It is about fate, treachery, and the gods themselves determining Hawaiʻi's future. Kayana returns to the islands after a lengthy absence. However, he has changed since leaving. He returns from overseas with experiences, foreign information, and perhaps new weapons or strategies that no one else has seen. The political balance is upset by his appearance right away. The fifth episode of Chief of War, The Race of the Gods, seems to represent the turning point in the series' focus from political intrigue to true combat. Since this story is about more than chiefly battles, it will have important spiritual and political ramifications. It is about fate, betrayal, and the gods themselves deciding the future of Hawaiʻi. Kaʻiana Although its contents are unknown, it might contain a proclamation of revolt, a warning of war, or possibly an attempt to persuade Kayana to defect from Kamehameha. The timing of this message could not be worse, for suspicion will fall heavily on Kayana. The council might turn against him and political mistrust could blow up into violence if there is even the slightest indication that he is associated with Kiwa. This episode lays the groundwork for a number of potential conflicts. Internal strife is the first. Other chiefs in the council can plot against Kayana because they perceive his ascent as a challenge to their own authority. A wider inter-island war is the second scenario. Kiwa and Kahekili could attack Kamehameha if they see disunity among its members, which would force the islands to engage in major combat. Then there is the introduction of knowledge from other countries. Kayana's homecoming could usher in a new period of conflict in Hawaiʻi. The next conflict may soon involve naval tactics, cannons, and muskets, making it more deadly than any other conflict the chiefs have experienced. Deep cultural and spiritual significance permeates this tale, which goes beyond the politics and combat. As implied by the term Race of the Gods, this is a judgment from the heavens themselves as well as a competition amongst mortals. Chants, rituals, omens, this might have influenced the plot, serving as a reminder that Hawaiian chiefs were not just men's leaders but also people who were thought to have divine authority. Given this perspective, Kaʻiana's struggle transcends mere survival and turns into a matter of fate. The thread of treachery goes through all of this. Words can be as lethal as spears in the council, which is a battleground unto itself. Friendships will be tried, alliances will fall apart, and Kayana can find himself in a precarious situation where he doesn't know who to trust. The fifth episode marks a sea change. It determines Kayana's position on the council, whether Kamehameha defends his claim to unify the islands or meets opposition, and it starts the conflicts that will shape Hawaii's destiny. The drums of battle will be hammering at the gates by the end of this chapter, not just a distant sound. Expect more than politics and conflict when the Race of the Gods comes out. Anticipate a storm of fate, treachery, and the initial outbreaks of conflict that will determine the island's future. Kayana had to go through a trial to prove himself. It's known as the Race of the Gods. It might be a risky fusion of the strategic, the spiritual, and the physical, rather than only a straightforward competition. Perhaps it is a ritual in which the gods themselves are thought to render judgment, or perhaps Kayana must demonstrate his military prowess in a test of war preparation, or perhaps he must suffer a torturous challenge of strength and endurance. It's obvious what the stakes are. Should he be successful, Kayana will gain respect, honor, and a position next to Kamehameha. He runs the chance of being betrayed, humiliated, and possibly killed if he fails. Not only is Kayana's survival at stake, but so is whether the gods continue to accompany him. To prove himself, Kayana had to stand trial. People refer to it as the Race of the Gods. Instead of just being a simple competition, it might be a dangerous combination of the spiritual, the physical, and the strategic. Perhaps Kayana must prove his military prowess in a test of war preparation, or perhaps he must endure a terrible challenge of strength and endurance, or perhaps it is a ritual in which the gods themselves are believed to pass judgment. The stakes are clearly high. If he succeeds, Kayana will be positioned beside Kamehameha and receive glory and respect. If he doesn't succeed, he could be betrayed, humiliated, and perhaps killed. Episode 5 sets the stage for conflict in a number of ways. Rival chiefs within the council itself can plot Kayana's removal since they perceive him as a challenge to their authority. Kiua and Kahekili might perceive Kamehameha's weakness and plan an attack from across the islands. Furthermore, the upcoming conflicts might be more deadly than ever before due to Kayana's familiarity with foreign weaponry and strategies. The drums of war will be pounding harder by the end of this episode, announcing the impending storm, rather than just whispers. However, this story has strong cultural and spiritual roots that go beyond politics and conflict. The race of the gods, the title itself, alludes to divine judgment. Kayana's fate might be influenced by chants, rituals, and omens. According to Hawaiian religion, chiefs were selected by the gods in addition to being men's leaders. Every triumph or setback has spiritual significance, and Kayana's ordeal is no different. This test is more than just a political one. The future of the islands themselves may be determined at this moment, which is sacrosanct. Betrayal as well as fate. Relationships and loyalty will also be put to the test in episode 5. Kayana can find himself standing alone when friendships and alliances fall apart. The council chamber is a battleground of words, plots, and betrayals in addition to being a venue of decision-making. Furthermore, betrayal can pierce deeper than any weapon when fate is on the line.